Pop, pop.
A huge shout out to the overthinkers. An overthinker. He watches the show. To the overthinkers. Shout out my friend too. All about faith. This is Parker. Yeah. Thank you, overthinkers.
Keep inspiring the next generation.
The overthinkers, much love.
To my overthinkers, mamelo uqhopho ngeke kuphume buyakhula yazini as overthink siya overachieve.
I'm stealing that. I've stolen that one.
Are good shorty as overthinking siya overachiever. Welcome everybody to the Overthinking Football Show. My name is George Mokwena and I'm your host this evening. The show is about South African football, African football, and every now and then we might just touch into European football. The show is on every Monday, Tuesday, Thursday and Friday for the next month. But there was a little bit of a schedule change, so I'm here today. I will not be here tomorrow and I'll be back on Friday. So that means that today we can cover a match that happened last night. Off of the highs of beating Orlando Pirates, Mamelodi Sundowns came back to face ETS Galaxy in the league at Mbombela Stadium. A match that they lost 1-0. Now, before I get into all of that, remember, this is a very interactive show. It's a show where you can jump in and have a conversation with me about whatever it is that we are speaking about. And when we are speaking about these things, I'd love you guys to jump inside. And you do that by pressing the multi-guest button at the bottom of your screen. You have to be following me on TikTok for those watching on YouTube. And then jump in and we have a conversation about the topic at hand. Also, guys, Kopali tapping screen, guys. Kopali tapping screen, tap, so that we can get to a very high number. It helps with the ranking. It helps with all of those type of things. Also, they're on YouTube. Feel free to comment, feel free to like, and feel free to do all of those things. Okay, back to the matter at hand. Okay, Mamelodi Sundowns played TS Galaxy. Going into the game, Mamelodi Sundowns was sitting number 1 on the log, 14 wins, 1 loss, 35 goals scored, 6 goals conceded, and a grand total of 42 points after the high of beating Orlando Pirates on the 8th of February. TS Galaxy, on the other hand, came into that match number 7. They had played 16 games, 5 wins, 7 draws, and 4 losses to their record. 16 goals scored, and then also 13 goals conceded for a grand total of 22 points. Their last game was a 1-0 win versus Ichipa United in the league. That is how the two teams came into this game. And yeah, as the stats say, ETS Galaxy had 10 shots on target versus Mamelodi Sundowns' 11. And then they had 10 shots. in total versus Mamelodi Sundowns 11 in total. They had 2 shots on target versus Mamelodi Sundowns' 4. Mamelodi Sundowns had 75% of the possession. They completed 594 passes versus TS Galaxy's 197. In terms of pass completion, Mamelodi Sundowns completed 87% of their passes, while TS Galaxy only completed 59. In terms of big chances created, Sundowns created no big chances. Therefore, they could not put any. They could not miss any because they did not create any, whereas TS Galaxy created 1 and scored it. And then in terms of saves, there were 4 saves from TS Galaxy, 1 from Mamelodi Sundowns, 33 clearances from TS Galaxy, 11 from Sundowns, 15 interceptions from the Galaxy, 5 from Mamelodi Sundowns. So that is where that game stood. Let's have a conversation about what we saw in the game. So I'm going to open up and let people come in, and we can go from there. Okay, let me see. Let me see who is here. Just for some other stats. Okay, Mamelodi Sundowns, the starting lineup was Williams, Mokwena, Adams, Gekana, Suarez, Ribeiro, Alenda, Mudiba, Johannes, Matthews, and Shalulile. Whereas TS Galaxy had Ira, Munyai, Kabini, and Damanis Bandem, Velasem Kaka, Zajmovic, Bilibili, Letualo, and Matango as the starting lineups of that game. Okay, let me see who's here. Let's have a convo. Here's another interesting stat, guys. Here's another interesting stat. In the past 6 games that Mamelodi Sundowns and TS Galaxy have met each other, Mamelodi Sundowns has only 2 wins. There's been 1 draw, and TS Galaxy now has 3 wins over Mamelodi Sundowns. So maybe it's a conversation about TS Galaxy being a hoodoo team. But in any case, let me bring in Tembikos. Tembikos, welcome to the show. How are you?
Mr. Mokwena, good evening, sir. Good evening to yes as well as the panel.
Tell me, how did you feel about this game, Tembikos?
Yeah, I think TS Galaxy, Mr. Mokwena, came to this game basifundile against Orlando Pirates. Maungabheka against Orlando Pirates, iPirate iyavula in the middle of the park. It allows everyone ukuthi mhlambe akhona ukudlala la phakathi nendawo. But TS Galaxy, it reads the games very well because yenze sure ukuthi asina movement in the la phakathi nendawo. Yenze sure ukuthi bastika no Ribeiro whereby abamnika each like play whereby uba invisible. So I think isifunde kahle to coming to this game, good game ya weekend, because uma ungathatha ukubuka iPirate, like I said, ukuthi la imuva, like la in the middle of the park bayavula, then they allow us ukuthi mhlambe thina phela sihlala ibhola laphansi, and then they allow us ukuthi mhlambe singene towards, and then umuntu oyosala lapha emuva kuyoba uxoki and Spies.
Yeah.
Esazi sure ukuthi angeke bammakho Ribeiro. So I think izolo they had tactics against us, so they make sure ukuthi asidlali, like the likes of Usipilibili, but like the attack and the white guy lo
Zajmovic.
Yeah, they played ibola lama 1-2 so that they could tackle us, yobo. And maungathatha ukubuka izolo besingana right back, Mr. Mokwena. Ukuba absent kwaka Mudawo kuslimaze kakhulu. So we needed umuntu onjengayo towards lela game leyo, because besihamba kakhulu lo bekadlala right back yesterday, bekahamba kakhulu bese akasakhona ukucover the space sakhe lo mlungu noSibilibili.
So mina ngifuna ukubuza uthi when you look at that game, we've now seen Coach Rulani, Coach Manqoba, and now Coach Cardoso struggle kancane nge-low block. Do you think that maybe this is the way to play Sundowns going forward?
No, but we looking at the our coaches, Mr. Mokwena, we can't blame the guy because the guy he only lost 2 games. Yeah? Like those other games, we were too convincing. So we are like marvel to watch.
Okay.
So like you could see Guti, that guy, he can read e-game from angaphandle. He can make good substitution angaphandle. Of which lento leya other coaches ebahlulile baku Sundowns. And they wenza sure ukuthi okay manje mangabe mhlambe ngiyabona ukuthi manje uyakhona ukuthi eze ne plan B.
Yeah.
That will benefit a team in winning.
Maringati, but it's like, it almost feels like ni enjoy my team idlala nani. If a team yaphuma ifuna ukudlala, they want to play pound for pound, they want to be more attacking. Nakhona we win a little game, but then iTS Galaxy yathi back five, midfield two, asi phambili. We're gonna try close the spaces at the back. There's a frustration. Ngoba no Rulani went through something similar.
But if you could look at Mr. Mokwena, like Sundowns no mhlampe okay, even if you could score, but we will always attack you, of which ilento esifunayo ukuze sithole le goal lelo unlocka lapha emuva lapha. Angisho, like for instance into engibukile ngama team manje waku PSL uma dlala against Sundowns, they normally, okay, if they automatically score first,
yeah,
bazoyenzani, they'll sit at the back, then badlala low block mhlambe ba attacking nga 2 yabantu or 3.
okay,
They ilasi bafuna khona. What I like about the Sundowns ukuthi nanoma mhlambe wena uzitshela ukuthi okay mhlambe even yesterday iTS Galaxy bese ihlele emuva with that 1-0 goal. We were always attacking. Mabo Maseko and stuff. Some ukuthi mhlambe silithole la noma mhlambe ilelo goal eli 1.
okay.
We didn't want to lose the yesterday's game. We didn't want it.
For time, I'm going to jump in. For time, I'm going to jump in. Agent, welcome to the show, my brother. How are you?
Shalom, Mr. Uti.
Al Chaim Shalom.
Or should I say shalom, my husband?
Agent, 1-0. TS Galaxy Mamelodi Sundowns. How did you feel about the game?
My husband, don't ignore me. I think we lost the game fair and square. If I was a Sundowns coach, I would have lost it also. I think he made the right substitutions, he made the right personal change. The lineup also, I think it was the right lineup for me. I hear people saying he should have rotated. But again, you're looking at the Nedbank Cup fixture at the weekend, you're saying there's a chance to rotate.
Yes, supersport.
Oh, Mutang.
Anyways, I hear people saying we should have rotated, but do you want to rotate when you have an opportunity to rotate on the weekend? And then again, do you want to rotate and send the wrong message to the players and say, I'm taking this game less lightly than the Orlando Pirates game? So I think for me, we didn't have to rotate. The only player that I also said was going to start is Teshik Matthews as opposed to Reyners, because Reyners was there specifically for Pirates, and Matthews played well against Supersport,
Yeah.
And then also Jordaan for Morena. Remember, Morena is just coming on from an injury, so do you want to overexert him? You don't want to do that, and Johannes kind of played well against Pirates. I didn't expect you to have a poor game like that yesterday. So, and even in terms of the substitutions, like I said, he made all the substitutions that I said he should make, especially the controversial one of Maseko. The reason why you're bringing in Maseko is the team is compact. It's a reinforced defense, and I predicted it in KG's live that team is a reinforced defense. It's a mixture of ODGs, man marking, and a compact block of hand-like, So you're going to need a headless chick, who's gonna do that and try to stretch the pitch and go for that hit the wall many times until it breaks. Unfortunately, it didn't break, but for me, Tapelo Maseko looked like if something was to happen, was going to come from that side. So I still think it was the restitution. I just feel like maybe the Sundowns players don't trust him that much, and that shows because even when he opens up, they're not giving him to the ball. So yeah, but otherwise, good game. Good strategy by TS Galaxy, and we just have to congratulate them and move forward. Yeah.
Do we give TS Galaxy enough credit? And do you think that maybe this is how Orlando Pirates should have approached the game? Or is that, I'm a big team, I have to do big team things versus other big teams? How do you feel about that? Is that maybe how Pirates should have approached it? Is it an approach that more teams should take versus Sundowns? Do you think that you'll be able to do anything with it?
I think Jose was cocky. Another Jose that I know is when playing against Sundowns, he allows Sundowns to have the ball and he's more defensive. Obviously they are not going to be as low block as it was like TS Galaxy, because they can play on the front foot. But I expected him to be more as cautious as TS Galaxy. Maybe not to that extreme degree, but to be that cautious. But I think he had it in him. Sometimes I always tell people, sometimes coaches can feel like, this game maybe I can go for it. And Coach Jose took a risk and it didn't work out, unfortunately. It was one of those. And you asked a very important question, and it links well to what you just asked now, that going forward, is this the way to play against Sundowns? Perhaps. But for me, unlike other previous times, I think I'm more confident in this coach to find a solution than the previous ones. Yeah.
Okay. Let me bring in Ongama. Ongama, welcome to the show. How are you?
Excuses. Hey, abantu bahlala bethatha nge-excuses. Hayi stadium kwathi. Hayi tay players zefatigue. Hayi hey. Into ngiyakhala ngi-PSL lo. Thina sibetheki. Hayi we have the best squad. Hayi hey. PSL lo kwenzekani noma intoni. Agent baya kusidlalisa. Hey bo. Okay, hayi bafethu. It was an interesting game. Our enemies have been beaten, and we are happy with that. At any time when the enemy is beaten, we are happy. We are happy. Okay, let me come back when I would see to the footballing matters. I think we need to give credit to the coach of this TS Galaxy.
Yeah,
he had a great tactical plan, and when I was observing this thing, I just before I came to the space today, I was watching the game of Polokwane City, the game of the game of Magesi, and also the game of this game of TS Galaxy. One thing that I observed in this Sundowns team is that when you don't give a Ribeiro player enough space to roam around, and you don't give a Sundowns a space behind, you just play a similar type of a football of a mid block, they tend to struggle. That's the first thing that I observe in this Sundowns team. Not those excuses that have been said in this thing. I've been in Twitter, people are making excuses of a fatigue and these things. No, it's not a fatigue. The tactical plan that those teams that have been exposed, that have been making, is that you give the Sundowns team enough ball in their half, and then you give them a ball when they are coming in your half, and then you make sure that you don't give enough space in behind. That's the first thing that I observed in that Sundowns team. You don't give them a space in behind.
Yeah.
You don't give a Ribeiro player enough space to roam around the midfielder. You make sure that you monitor his movement into the field. You don't give them a space in behind. You don't give them the pockets that they want into the field. That's the second thing that I observed in that team. And then you make sure that you have a tactical plan when they push those players. You make sure that there are spaces that Sundowns eliminate when they have a lot of ball position. They're like a Pirates team. They leave the spaces and their defenders are too slow. That's one thing that I kept into what the press conference of the player of TS Galaxy that they've said. The Sundowns team has a slow defender. As we know, Kekana, they are slow, we know, and I observed even Saleh. Saleh is a smart player, but in terms of the space, it's one of the players that is also struggling in terms of the players that have a space. So if you have a tactical plan of not giving a Sundowns team a space in behind and also allow them to play, but monitor players like Abo Ribeiro and also monitor players like Abo Matthews, their tactical movements, and also master the shape of a 4-4-2, whereby you'll make sure you don't break a 4-4-2, because when you break that shape, that's where they benefit. When you break the shape, that's
So,
my true sense of the tactical
Ongama,
approach of the game.
is it something that can be repeated by a lot of the teams in the league? Is it something that Sundowns will have to think about? Or is it just that this TS Galaxy team, I mean, like I said, in the 6 games they've played, TS Galaxy has more wins than Sundowns up to this point. So is it something that can be replicated? Should Sundowns be worried that more teams will be doing this?
Because I'm biased when I would say I'll be biased. I think this thing can be repeated by a lot of teams if they want to win against Sundowns. They must give a Sundowns team a position, enough position, even if they coming back with a player like Tshwane. Give them enough position. Don't expose yourself. Give them a space behind. Don't try to be more tactical and be more smart and try to work something out of it and become a pound to pound. The Ribeiro players, player, they want that. When you expose yourself into that, they will harm you. Matthews, they want that. If you expose yourself, they will harm you. So because of being I'm biased, I would like other teams to do that and lose more games because I'm biased. I'm a Kaizer Chiefs supporter, so I'll be much happy if that happened in every game.
Okay, but at least you're honest. Let me bring in Dr. Mnise. Dr. Mnise.
Kaitaba.
Inta,
Asjo adin sijo.
what's I think Kombombela? What's I think?
Rigo Chalo, that's how you beat Sundowns.
Okay.
Sundowns, you still remember when the last time I spoke to you, Kalenyana, our coach was Mangoba. I was complaining a style of play and everything. So Cardoso now, it did bring that style of play. We're playing the Sundowns way. But on being neutral, as a Sundowns fan, but now I want to be neutral. If you want to beat Sundowns, don't go pound for pound. Don't press them when they start their ball in their 18 area. Leave them to start their ball. Wait for them on the center line. That's how TS Galaxy irrigile. And then as for Sundowns, how do you break that reinforced defense? You know, Mavan, it need ball players. I needed Mkulise. I needed Tembazwane. I needed Kemang Ntwane come from Europe.
Man Matthews.
No. Utsenima mara maybe can last 4 or 5 minutes. Arkema Ntwane man. Ukadile Europe all along. Kona bua moha ino.
Oh, Kodisang.
Kodisang. You need. Yes, you need ball players. Not for me. I didn't need Maseko. Maseko is that pacey player. And then Oceana guy, because of Batoba, there's distance between defense and goalkeeper is closer. We needed someone who will play in the pockets. Kodisang, Mkulise, Tembazwane type. Then we will play because of, you know how we beat teams. Look at the game of Orlando Pirates. Ronan Williams will start the ball, and then Mokwena will go and follow Island Emanzini. Mokwena once hold that ball and 2 turns must avail themselves, which is Adams and Allende. And then if I 2 and 3 are now kupuil, but only for attack. If you want to beat us, just admit to the talent Elingos announce like image. Whether I'm Pirates, whether I'm Chiefs, let me leave these people to play their thing in their half and wait for them. That's how you beat Sundowns, you know.
No, but yeah.
This game you're going to lose it. And foot game you're trying. That's where we should capitalize kind of free kick. The only time we give on a score, erga free kick, yellow rega kona haka net.
Mara ke batla go botsa ka Tshambise. Ke batla go botsa ka just with this time remaining. I hear you saying that you need ball players. Mara, why is it that Mamelodi Sundowns highly under pressure but clearly low block? Le rata go ya wide, and then you like to take players le ba kenye ko lining ya defense, and that means that whoever's got the ball inside havana the option. Why is it that now we are seeing it under Cardoso? We saw a similar thing under Rulani, Hakra low block. Batla we are wide or across the ball, halsa dala kamohare, and there's such big space between your players kamohare.
Na for Sundowns that I know, Arna square pass, Arna Korka Claw. It is very rare who regret square pass because of once the ball is a line. That's the system as Sundowns. Once the ball is a line, 2 tens must avail themselves, or number 2 or number 3, or Kalango 2 or 3 must avail himself for Motaung ball line, and then kick it, come hard. That's how we play. Na game one. I think many teams sell it's a pound for pound. Yeah, cheaper United. Like a man coach cheaper United.
Coach Mamila.
Coach Mamila, they will give us problem. But as long as you'll come and say, I'm Orlando Pirates, I've beaten Ahly, I will take this people pound for pound. You'll never. Not with that Sundowns. You'll never. I mean, Ronald Williams' strong pensa is not Itumelang Kun. It's not that strong in saving balls. But it's our player. He starts the play. But you'll only see that when you press us. That's why it's going to make a pass through the middle until he reaches Ribeiro. Maban, well done, TS Galaxy. Well done. It's boring anyway. Where stadium me Barambombela Ferriana, or whenever to go half on Yabon. Renida Parrot, Renida Kaizer Chiefs, Dumelangor, they can match us.
Lebato Shapabat, eh?
One of the greatest coaches ever, Willa Relgo Orlando. No, my brother. Don't worry.
Okay. For time's sake, I want to jump in. Tagawaba, welcome to the show. Magimnandi man, eh? Hey, Ben Chable.
Awuhlala kanjani ungajabula ngithi before sekujabuleni kwethu kanti wenza njani bakubingelela wakanaka nje kanti wenza njani kanti awazi ukuthi le nto lezi zihamba imisebenzi yakho angithi manje sokuma podcast and chill network so yakuma award hawu bobingelela phamisa isandla nje uthi my wife
1-0 Chess Galaxy banvelile.
Hey, uyaphila kodwa.
Hayi ngimnandi man.
Hayi no, hayi kumnandi South Africa kushaya uma uyezwa nje. Can you smell that?
Yeah.
Kamali kusho abostumi lena abobrastumi nabo montana bathi kushaya ivumbe limandi. Yeah, kusuke kumnandi kanje. But yeah, back to the game. Back to the game. I think TX Galaxy came up with a plan.
Okay.
And well executed, because if you look at them, were defending as a team and they were good in terms of a transition, of which most of the guys knows that sometimes he defends Sundowns. If you attack it with pace, and sometimes they tend to crumble. We have seen teams that were doing that to them, Jagabo, Cape Town City last season. There was a time I said that the other guy said Morgan Mamila wanted to play them like that. As much as they might win games, but we play about sweaty because my defense is a bit slow. So once you can bypass in the middle field, then where you face them directly, then it becomes a problem. And I don't believe that guy who was playing right back from Supersport who is a Sundowns material. I don't think there was no need for them to buy him. Because after Umurena, who's that guy from Chipa? kunomdawu kuqala umdawu kuza umorena bese kuza umdunyelo
Oh yeah.
who's far better than that guy. So I don't think babane bamthenga nje, but I don't think they did need him. Or center back, I got maybe if center back uyadlala, but I go right back. No, he was just exposed there, and I exposed Amlungu Agubo. No Sibelebele. But so far, I think the plan was well executed, of which is something that I've complained about during the game. And we can go to reverse coast deal. Cannot come go Sundowns like that. You need some people who will match them, go middle field in terms of marking. Because they are so good, but it's kind of thing when they have the ball. So you cannot allow them to have the ball. It's kind of thing because they will hurt you. And one thing that I've always advocated for Guti, we ask why it's sometimes Umbesuma was the leading goal scorer behind Ufani Matita, but he struggled to score against Pirate. That was why. Because besimnikuthola kushabalala. Sithi uhambe na noma uphuza amanzi. Ungamyeki. Makathi uyophuza amanzi ibala eceleni kwakhe nje. Unganaka ukuningi hlala kulo. That's what they did no Ribeiro nje izolo. So they make sure ukuthi lo ngiwanayo noma kuthiwa kwenza njani nje lo wami. So yeah. And we know Gudu Ribeiro is a key player for Mamelodi Sundowns. I can say 80% of the goals that Mamelodi Sundowns has scored, they came through him. So he's a pivotal point here, Sundowns, and a point of reference. So if you take him out of the game and you take Allende out of the game, then you will see what you'll have a chance to play. You've got a chance to play against Sundowns.
Maravelile, is Sundowns not taking them out of the game themselves? Because mina ngisayisho lento ukuthi iSundowns my totally low block right. It's almost like they all get too far away from each other. For Ribeiro bafuna ukuyolanda ibhola lena mara abo Shalulile bale phambili nabo Reiners bameli ibhola somehow. Is it a problem with Sundowns? Ngoba nakurulani we saw a similar thing, if we're being honest. How do you feel about Sundowns versus low blocks, and should they be worried going forward? Can this thing be done again, or is it just Galaxy? Right?
No, I think they should be worried because remember, even the last game the last game of the season that they've lost against Cape Town City. That's how they lost it. Because Cape Town City was playing a low block and they just got that one chance and scored. And if you look at it against my first game where MTN is Stellenbosch, they punished them against twice. Ipulukwane City Maibashaya. It's just got to Ipulukwane City is not that good in terms of transition. Banale fano makopa loba to uchauki. Same type is so they are not that good in terms of transition quick when they play against it. So but it shows Guti. If you play like that, it's Mashaka Jana Samakapin Nat. We allow them to have the ball. And then once they come into our half, and then we pounce, take the ball and give it to Saleng. Saleng will kill the defender with pace. You come to MTN and take the same thing. You don't make sure you allow them to have the ball on their half and then start pressing them if they approach your half. If you play at a deep level, then you know you are in a good point. But make sure you close those spaces and make sure you keep Ugata Allende cool because that's the one who always try to nip those balls into them and create space for them. But once you can do that, then they are out.
No, for time. Let me get in and then I'm going to bring in the next panel. Thank you to the guys that came in first. Okay, can I just jump in and say something about TS Galaxy? I know we're speaking about the low block, guys, but I don't think the low block was the most impressive thing of what TS Galaxy did in that game. I think the low block was a part of it. Mara, having Sibilibili and Zajmovic and Letsoalo also in attack meant that you can do some interesting things. I don't think Keegan Johannes was bad, is a bad player, was bad in the game. But if you could see, TS Galaxy was smart enough to do a couple of things. Number one, overload. The side where the goal came from, all of them were on his side and they pinned him back. There were 3 or 4 players in that area when they pinned him back, right? And from the goal. And then secondly, there's something I like about playing balls just in behind the defense. And Williams is an incredible sweeper keeper. But if you keep making him come out and come out and come out and come out, He's going to make some mistakes. And this is where Polokwane City maybe should have taken advantage on their side. Well, they did, but should have done it more. And I think what that does is, in the back of your head, you can't forget about the three players, right? So you can't forget about those guys. There's a bit of danger that you have to look out for, which means that you can't push the way you want to. You can't do things the way you want to. So I want to give credit to ETS Galaxy for not only coming in and being defensive. It's coming in and being defensive with a plan to at least release pressure. Even when Sundowns brought in Masego and pushed up Morena, they brought in Morena and pushed up Masego up the sides to try and take that back five and keep the two wing backs busy, so at least you've got a three. They dropped someone in. They took out one of the forwards, dropped someone inside, and kept that shape. So I think it was a wonderful plan from ETS Galaxy. Let me go to PK. PK, welcome to the show.
OT.
How are you, my brother? Man. Na ke polo this weekend. Team yaka I win Friday. I didn't have stress. Na ke shebile polo ke beile mautu ko dimo. Ke cheat.
OT, I mean when I win this Friday, na ke win Saturday. Ke jelwe maban. So yeah. The pain I botlhoko fela wa bona. So it's just that ba didimaditse how we ba didimaditse modumo wa rona, otherwise I will be continuing benting, but yesterday it was like, okay, it's enough, you can keep quiet now.
Marapike ori what is one game boreka ke batla utlwa.
Yeah, look, TS Galaxy outplayed us, outsmart us.
Yeah.
They came into the game with a plan, and a solid one, to say, we're going to do a little bit of mid-block, not low block. For me, I don't think it was a low block, it was mid-block. Playing out of the 18 area, just press a little bit. But all of us, we are behind the ball. When Sundowns hold the ball, and for us to be behind the ball, we make sure that Ribeiro is marked by two players. You don't allow him, even if he wants to go to the toilet, you go with him. That's what I saw yesterday. To Allende, when Allende holds the ball, make sure that you are there. And it made our game plan very difficult, because these two players are the players that are game makers.
Yeah.
Right? If you allow Mokwena to drop, don't go, let him collect the ball. We know how they play. Close Ribeiro, close Allende, and he will come. As he come, do not allow him the space to shoot. He tried yesterday, but that's what they were prepared to do. Okay, fine. The part in which we will attack, we have fast players. Sebele, this striker,
Oh, yeah,
yeah, and we have, they were three, Sebele, and this guy.
Dajmovic.
Yeah. These guys are fast, man. And yesterday after the commentary, I think it was Sibelebele who said, the coach said to us, Sundowns likes to attack with lot of players. So the moment you make attack, you find a lot of players, they are in our half, and we are able to move fast. We have fast strikers. So that was the plan. You just kick the ball, we will be there. We know they are even slow. And that's what they did yesterday, mid-blocking us, but also having a plan. Secondly is that I think yesterday Cardoso was just coping. It was just a coping mechanism after a tough game. He was not really prepared for this game. I can say that. Let me put people that I trust, that I can know, maybe they can grind results. There was a point where Ribeiro, I think it was even first half, Ribeiro was so tired, he even held his legs to show that he was tired. For me, play different players for such games like this. You know, Bom Dunyelwa, they are fast players, they can run. Now you are bringing Johannes, and immediately I saw OT. I don't know if you saw this. When Johannes, after getting a red card, the coach immediately said to them, overload in this side. It's either he's gonna make mistakes because we are speedy, and if you can check, I think there were 3 players in that goal that attacked that position on itself. Only that position they attacked it, and it was like you hold him, you are gone. And that was he could have made, that decision when Mkhuli say we were playing, I think, with 4 midfielders and he substituted.
Got 35.
He was supposed to do that yesterday with Morena to say, come out, Morena, go in. Let me protect this thing because I can see that we are slow at the back and these guys are very fast. That is number one tactical error that I saw yesterday. Secondly, the tactical error that I saw again, it was because these guys are very fast. Drop one of the midfield. Drop at least. Ribeiro is tired. Let's rely on the speed, but at least let's have a defensive midfield. Let's have Obas, who will be able to tame this guy on the speed. And we can at least break through the passes. We know maybe we can trust on Shalulile, we can trust on Matthews. The worst tactical error that I saw yesterday, it was bringing Maseko. I cried. Hey.
Man. AFL MVP, PK.
Man.
Oh.
No.
Speak
That's
nicely.
not the biggest error, man. Sundowns has never been powerful on the wings. Instead of crossing the balls and heading and finish. It has never been, unless you are having Mudao who is able to do just 1-2 and running and be able to penetrate and get that breakthrough Ribelo pass. But yesterday you saw that there was no fluidity in the middle field. The ball was stuck. We were overloaded and these guys were just there. Secondly,
PK, very quickly on that one, just for time's sake. Why is it that Sundowns goes wide? And the low block. I can understand. And the rulani.
We are trying to create the space for Ribeiro and Allende. Remember when they are closing Mohari. Now the Ribeiro can't play if he's closed on Mohari. We are just stretching them to say, okay, maybe they will stretch and they will be very scared of us trying to come through the wings, so that if they are able to push the central back 4 and 5 to the sides trying to mark, we are able then Ribeiro to penetrate in that space.
Minus of 5 players in your attack. I don't understand.
Man,
minus of 5.
We do, but now when you get a team like TS Galaxy, that shows you we are not going anywhere. Even if we are tempted, but we are disciplined tactically. Then what do? That team was so frustrating yesterday. I was like, I never got a team. And we know this is TS Galaxy. Even if in the last season, it's just like that.
For time, I'm going to have to jump in. Let me bring Colin. Colin, welcome to the show. How are you? Hey, Jami, Tina si right, angazi ngamasandawana. But tell me, you think it's Galaxy? Yeah.
It's just a wake-up call for yesterday's game.
Yeah.
For a wake-up call. And I'm glad ukuthi yenzeke ngalesi sikhathi. Because khonozayo ngeyi1, khonozayo ngeyi15. So bazofika sengi-right.
Ningabheki thina, bheka laba abanye. Abo-TS Galaxy labo yibo aba-dangerous.
But after i-Saturday game angubonanga wenza live.
I was banned Monday, so bangixoshile. I had to go onto YouTube.
Okay, you're right. You're right. I see you coming back today because we lost.
It's serious. I was banned. I was banned during the game on Saturday. Yeah.
And another thing I noticed. Ama fans amaningi when Sundowns lost.
Yeah.
I think they know how Sundowns lost and they have a plan. Only thing is any solution enginayo ukuthi why mhlambe ningahamba notshela coach ukuthi abenze njani ngoba ngathi abalandeli bayabona ukuthi kahle yini edala Sundowns lost and ngendlela aba-analyze ngayo ibhola ungabathatha impela ubafaka ukuthi abacoach i-team yakho ngoba ngathi bayazi bona but anyway i-lost yethu but konke engavumelani nayo
okay
ngento engibona ukuthiwa ama-defenders Sundowns aslowly and ungathi khona into abake bayenza izolo for uku-expose bakhombisa ukuthi basiloli. I didn't see TS Galaxy ithola i-break attack or anything la okwakhona ukuthi mhlambe khona i-defender lethe abashiyayo nge-speed, but ba-emphasize ukuba lokhu beshilo bethi i-slowly Sundowns. But ke asinankinga indlela abacabanga ngayo le. Anyway, we take defeat and we move on. We are fine with that defeat as long as we not lost against Pirates and Chiefs. We're fine.
Mina ngicela ukubuza Xolani, when you look at this thing, the game that you played, do you think that more teams are going to try and do what TS Galaxy did, and do you think that bazokhona ukuyenza with all of those other teams?
No, I think ngeke bekwazi ukuyenza.
Okay.
Ngeke bekwazi ukuyenza because abakwazi ukuplana. Abakwazi ukuplana for i-Sundowns. They bayeza kwi-Sundowns just because bethi nathi singama-team sizokwazi ukuyidla. Abakwazi ukuplana ngoba the most angithi ilost yesibili le.
Yeah.
Noma uthi check ilost esayilosta kwi-Polokwane City.
Polokwane, yeah.
Yeah, nabo ayikho plan ababe nayo. It was just because Sundowns is not play well that day. It never do anything ngalo lasuku. And the same like yesterday, we didn't get more chances because they close all their behind the ball and front of Ribeiro and make sure didn't get any space.
Yeah.
But anyway, I don't think Uguti and they didn't press Ronwen Williams. You know we are more strong when you press Ronwen Williams. We're gonna go out and kill you, but it's fine.
Okay, no. Well, yeah.
Amateam amaningi angicabanga ukuthi azokwazi ngoba let's wait until see in next game yethu ne-Chess Glass ayikho kude. Uzobona bazokwenza the same thing yini. Ngeke benze the same thing. Bazoqhamana ukuthi okay sasababhitha lapha. Let's go out and pound for pound. Then bazolosta khona. Like uke washo u-agent ukuthi except ukuthi ngeke uye pound for pound for the Sundowns, just play where you want to play. Ungayi for pound ngoba izokudla. But next game ngeke beye ngale plan abaye ngayizolo. Bazothi okay sibashayile. Singaphinda sibashaye bese beba nama mistake abazowenza back. So abanye ama-team ngeke kwazi ukuplana nje as the way baplanele game only yesterday game. Another game ngoba nzima ukuthi bayiplanele futhi.
Okay, for time's sake, I'm going to jump in. Let me bring in Soweto Gent. Welcome.
Kabuyelo.
O reng kabuyelo bara. Tlogela masandawana man.
Mina ngijabulile uthi. Kodwa I think I was listening to Iris, so I got a bit of revive nyana. I'm starting to feel a bit of pain yabo kancane. Kodwa kumnandi nyana uthi watching i-TSG playing against the Sundowns. I mean all the time the game is interesting. I get to enjoy especially Sundowns mayidliwa yabo.
Yeah.
Cool. Awuthi ngikhuluma into engifuna ukuyikhuluma. So I think i-TSG othine ngiyezwa abantu abaningi bathi mayidlale low block. Mina ngibonanga lento leyo. At least second half ke lapho ke I can say they were playing a low block. But the first half they were pressing Sundowns, like, you know, not giving them a chance to think ukuthi mele ngidlale kanjani, yabo. Because they were immediately ku-FIFA lento le I think babiza ukuthi pressure after position loss. I've seen a tactic like that ku-FIFA. Immediately after they lost the ball, by a pressure, two or more players getting one player lapha, and then at some point I saw Sundowns keep it ball I be throw in for no reason.
Yeah.
Ngiyafuna ukubaka isikhathi sokuthi bacabange lento leyo. I think mina yibo fosile ukuthi bazaba ungena ngama-win, yabo. I saw like almost Sundowns score through the wing, getting the ball, nge-cut back, and then by trap bayibekele u-Ribeiro, bayibekele u-Mokwena. Whether they missed those chances or mengaspana lento le kodwa ayizange isebenze. Second half angazi kwenzakaleni uthi kodwa i-TSG was on point in terms of defense. They were defending in every correct way. I wish ukuthi mhlambe ama-team afana bo Kaizer Chiefs could defend like that. I don't know what they have but it worked, and I'm happy, mina.
Is it a case of overconfidence? Is it a case of overconfidence from both Chiefs and we saw with Paris this weekend? Is it that man they feel as though keep big team?
I cannot say confidence to say per se, but relax. You score one goal and then you think, oh, I'm okay. You relax. Most of the times, Kaizer Chiefs may lose the ball because of our like holding the ball in Umat losing the ball in the middle and then Shawela. We've seen that a lot of times. So I think we relax, not to say about confidence per se. But yeah. I think.
Do you think that this is the way? Just for the last minute, do you think that this is the way you must play Sundowns? Do you think that more teams will be able to do what TS Galaxy did yesterday?
Bega OT from yesterday's game. Now I know how to beat Sundowns.
Okay.
I've seen Kaizer Chiefs do it one time. Go to Izang 7 Satroa.
Mulifinseki,
I think we also tried that. Got a Sadio, but I think big stamp lapho. That's the only way to beat the Sundowns. Maska kanjalo ama team sayiceda sayicwebula one way because the Sundowns are mark tactical defending, man. They wait for you to make a move, and then once you make the move, you lose the ball because I was good Wednesday. Yeah, because but keep it ties and lock. They wait for you to make the first move and then mark. So I've seen, I think was really man lapa. The second chance that they almost got is because the man who route okay, Lomuta mark, push the ball, rule. Push the ball, I'll pass her, and then I'm sharing a move. So yeah.
Hang on, Siso, hang on. Okay.
Yeah, I think that was a smart play because uyambona ubhekile umile push the ball phambili umshiyile because yabona it's not expecting ukuthi you'll just go.
Okay. No, for time I'm going to jump in. Let me bring in Untatil Klofa. Tate.
Hey, OT, evening OT, the panels and the viewers. Hey, but my parents are happy, man.
Kya man how? What's the revenge ka engel?
Okay, OT. For me, I was thinking after the high intensity game that we played against Pirates, I was hoping to see new faces. Just to refreshing the squad. I don't know why we play. I don't want to complain, but I don't understand why the games in Hand FC is not playing, and we are playing. Whereas we played on Saturday, both of us. But here we go again. We are playing, and you know, for a team like Chess Galaxy, for some reason or the other, they are always motivated, highly motivated when it comes to Sundowns. You can remember the drama of Ramovich,
the press conference derby.
Yes, they always have this energy when they face Sundowns. I don't know why. I was hoping to see a bit of reshuffle. You know, there are games whereby you need a lot of energy. I felt like this game we needed fresh players because those guys they play very fast and they are quick and they are motivated against us. So we needed some fresh legs. We needed a bit of youth exuberance. I don't know what's wrong with Letagu. I was hoping to see Letagu start and Coolies. But anyway, I'm just a supporter. I feel like, and after that game, because now we just won a big game against us, there was a bit of complacency on my players. We didn't took that game by the scruff of his neck from the start. So the more the team keep 0 against Sundowns, the more they get motivated because you can play a mid block, but the minute if Sundowns scores, then the whole plan falls apart because now you have to come out and try to score as well. But the longer they keep 0, the more they get motivated. I don't know, Ian Johannes, I thought the guy was a centre back. I don't know why the inclusion of him. I'm not too happy about him. He didn't play that position to the best of my liking. I even felt like, why did we sell someone, the other centre back, Keegan Allen? Because I felt like that guy was good to step in there. But anyway, that's a story for another day. When you have play teams that plays like this, you know, you need someone like Mshishi. The people that can unlock the low block.
Yeah.
So we don't have to play wide. You are right. Because sometimes it's not, if you go wide, someone like Motaung, he's gonna play a cutback, not a cross. A cutback, then you need your midfielder that make the late run into the box or just outside the box to come and score and finish. So I feel like our attack was not organized. Even after the Ribeiro hitting the post, we didn't really have a lot of energy. I always say Allende plays too many games, and so every third day, Sundowns plays, Allende is always there. I even felt like, why can't we just put maybe January, Jody there in post, because we just played the high intensity games against Paris, which took a lot from our players.
Do you think that Coach Cardoso is in the position to trust other players? And I mean it in the sense of, obviously he's been here a couple of months, he probably knows his players, but going out into the league, there's a lot of teams that he's also going to be seeing for the first time, let's say. So is he in a position to try new players?
Yes, I feel like that. It slowly introduce some new faces there. I mean, we've got a lot of players in our squad. So that team, like I said, I felt like we needed players who are more energetic. Because those Tears Galaxy, they use a lot of energy. I remember back in the days, the team that they used to call Bafana Bestende. That team used to give us a lot of problems back in the days, because they would run at Sundowns. Yes, they would run at Sundowns. They would run at us. We don't really like teams that run at, but Sundowns is very manipulative. If now the game is too fast, sometimes you know how to just slow down the game, play a couple of back passes just to slow down things. I will still repeat, I feel like yesterday we needed to refresh the squad a bit.
Okay.
Just to keep up with the energy of Jazz Galaxy.
For time, I'm going to jump in and bring in Usiso. Siso, welcome to the show.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Otienda.
Yenda barimini man.
Kunjani Mr. Oti?
But ngimnandi Siso. Siso, ibone njani le game izolo? 1-0.
Very interesting game, very interesting. Mina Mr. Oti, anginama complaints. Ngiyabona ni complain ngabo Kigen. Mina for me Kigen is a typical SuperSport United development player, I would say. SuperSport I develop umdlalo ozodlala position A1. I can guarantee you that. Very, very I forgot what's the word, but most players they play at most 2 positions when they are below the age of 24 and 25, around there. But I move on. I say I give compliments to coach we TS Galaxy mina uthi it's that simple lento le. Coach we Sundowns akunalutho enzile. I don't know if you remember the second goal Ribeiro scored in the big match.
Star Wars.
The left foot across Chain's goal.
Yeah.
A similar shot was taken against TS Galaxy. I don't know if you guys saw that. Also, you guys, the viewers, they had the chances. They didn't end up in the back of the net. They were off target. So it's one of those cases I can say I give the finishing to Sundowns. That's where I would blame them. They had the chances and they were not playing the football that you guys expect. Yeah, I understand. But one thing I'm gonna go to, I'm gonna speak about Mr. Oti. I will take you back. I don't know if you remember from the Magesi match against Sundowns with Mneti. I've been mentioning to you that it's sometimes very good as a coach to humble yourself, Mr. Oti, and not play the way you want to play and do what you call a strategic planning. Strategic planning, that's what I call it, Mr. Oti. Make a strategy because you are playing against Sundowns, and that is what the coach did. I go back to Kaizer Chiefs also. Sorry to go a bit off topic, Mr. Ochi, who was the last coach to beat, who was close to beat Sundowns from Kaizer Chiefs?
Like one time.
You understand? And was he playing the football he wanted?
No. He was doing this.
You understand, Mr. Oti? Humble yourself, make a strategy. It's only for 90 minutes. It's going to give you, and it's going to keep your job. It's going to make your contract longer. And it's going to make you gain respect from supporters. And that gives you more time to fix what you're saying, I'm building, that we don't see.
So do you think more teams will be able to play this football versus Sundowns, or is there something special that TS Galaxy brings into games versus Sundowns?
One thing I think I can say about TS Galaxy, the TS Galaxy for me, they don't really have a permanent philosophy. They have a way that they play when they're playing a team that is stronger than them. But for me, they don't have a strategy. They just go game to game, and I feel like I can compliment their technical team because they plan very well and they never fall behind that. And they work very hard, Mr. Oti. Trust me. I think in Joburg, for me, I think I put them in the top 4 in terms of teams that train. That the level of training in their training ground is madness, Mr. Oti. So I compliment them. I can say everyone is complaining, but no, it's very simple, guys. Plan and you will get your points. They got their points now in Galaxy. Now people are gonna be busy concerned in the person. What is Test Galaxy gonna bring? They're not gonna bring anything. They just beat Sundowns because they plan for them. They don't have any style of play, but they plan very well to beat Sundowns, and they did it. It's that simple. And
What do you say to the people that say that Caruso may not have had enough time, time in between games to plan, to get together? Is that he's still relatively new, playing against now the rest of the PSL?
Mr. Oti, how many players does Sundowns have?
I believe last I checked it was 37.
Okay, there's 11 players that are allowed to play on the field. I think that is in total multiplied by 2, there's 22. So they even have a bit extra. So now, Mr. Oti, my point to you is that what are you doing with the B team? What are you doing with the B team? What is the point? What are you doing? I don't want to mention and join the so popular statement and say they're killing players, because they're not. They're not killing players, actually. I disagree most of that with that statement. But what is the other part of the squad doing?
Okay, wait. So just for like 30 seconds, can I ask you then?
Yes.
What do you make of the fact that right now you have a lot of transplant players that are playing ahead of some of the people on the benches? So if you look at Reynaz, was starting at some point. He was due first season here. Adams is the starter. He just arrived just a couple of weeks ago. You look at Suarez. Suarez is the starter at the centre-back role. Well, he's starting now, his first full game. He's jumped a couple of people. You look at Johannes, jumped a couple of people. What do you make of that? Do you think that Coach Cardoso has a grasp of the entire squad? Or is it going to be one of those situations where he needs to get his players?
He doesn't have that, to be honest, Mr. OT. But one thing that I can guarantee you that he has, he plays friendlies with teams. I know that very, very well. He plays friendlies. If there's not friendlies, he trains these guys. He trains them almost every single day. Some of them, they go back and do extra sessions, and they are guided by what coaches that are in Sundowns. So he has reports on them. If you are not going to rate, I mean, they literally closed down a team called M Tigers, telling us that if you're not ready to play for the first team of Sundowns, what do you want? What do you want at Sundowns? Ufunan. You are being access to play against TS Galaxy. If you cannot beat TS Galaxy for me, as a Jody February, as a Dennis Onyango, you name them, all of them. What do you want then? So I don't get it, but yeah, that's basically it for me, Mr. Oti. Yeah, no problem.
For time's sake, I'm going to jump in. Let me ask the comments. I want to ask the comments. Guys, how do you feel about the fact that there are a lot of players, Abo Mayema, Abo Mkulise, Abo Mtunyelwa, Abo Tiwane, Abo Mashiko, Abo Masego, that essentially have been jumped? So Suarez jumps into the front of the line, Johannes jumps into maybe the second or third place in the line, Reynolds jumps into the line straight, Adams jumps everyone in the midfield and goes into the line. I want to ask, how do you guys feel about that, and what does that say about the rest of the team? Do you guys still trust the other gents, and do you think Cardoso can trust those gents? Because again, he's new. This is now his foray into the actual PSL now. He's going to meet a lot of these toughish teams. Do you think that he's ready, and do you think that he's going to trust that bench at any time soon, or should he trust the bench? Let me get the next panel in. Let me get the next panel in so that we can go forward. Flemingberg is building the United Nations of Sundowns. Wait, okay. Wait, guys. You guys went from being South American influenced to being straight up South American. So I don't know. Okay, let me do this while I let people in. Why is it freezing? Oscar Roban Totsaka. Okay, let's go with Mhlabe. Mhlabe, welcome to the show. How are you?
Sure, how's it?
Hi, man. Long time.
Hey, long time, man. I see you kick me off from the group.
I had to be strictly late, but it's fine. Tell me about this game. What did you think about this one, though?
I'm coming back soon. Don't worry, OT.
No stress.
Look, let me observe the protocol. Greeting the Yellow Nation. The incoming Betway champions, incoming Nedbank champions, incoming CAF Champions League champions,
When?
the FIFA Club World Cup participants, OT, coming back to the yesterday's game. Before we even go there, we had two very, very tough game in Supersport and Pirates, which was high intensity game. So
Guys,
we
please
used
mute when you
the
come in. Please mute when you come in. Respect the speaker.
Yeah, okay, so we use the same squad that plays against plays against Pirates, and then it plays against TS Galaxy again. This is not an excuse, but at the end of the day, these players they were going to break at some one point or another. Because the human, but then take nothing away from Galaxy. They've got a good coach. They plan very well. But then they didn't dominate us. We played yesterday. Even though the legs were gone, if you can see second half, the legs were not there anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah, we tried to play first half. We missed chances. Like that Ribeiro goal. Some other day it goes in that goal and it changed the game. There was a chance, mokwena, that he got, and then the keeper just stood there. With that goal goes in, and then we take a draw. Yeah, I wouldn't fault anyone. I would fault Cardoso. It wasn't our day. Luck was not our side. We tried everything. But yeah, also with Maseko, man, we gave Maseko enough chances. We gave Maseko against Supersport, offers nothing. Gave him chance against Pirates, didn't do anything. Yesterday as well, give him minutes. So he's letting himself down, and us, the supporters, we're running out of patience with him. But yeah, I think it's about time Letlhako goes back to the team. I don't know what's happening with Cardoso and Letlhako, but we need Letlhako back to the team. Maseko has got enough chances. He doesn't want to improve under Cardoso. So maybe let him sit, go back to the bench, not even the bench, to the team. And then the young Letlhako start on the bench, or so that he can come in during maybe the second half. But then it's just 3 point OT.
Yeah.
Disappoint. Yeah, but then we move. I mean, we know how to win. It's not a train smash. Other team gonna each other. So it's just 3 points. It's just disappointing. But then, and then
I wanna ask you something on the point you made about Abu Masego and Abu Letlhako. Has Sundowns now moved into a place where you guys are a performance team? So there's no longer time to develop people or time to wait for people to get fine. I mean, even now you've brought in a whole bunch of people that you've signed and they've gone directly in. Do you think that now coming to Sundowns is now about performing and it's no longer about, hey, you're going to develop and get better? Does Cardoso have that time?
Yeah, look, more especially at the time that Cardozo came in to our team. You know, he didn't start with the team. He didn't have a preseason, so he doesn't have a luxury of time to develop players. He needs a result. He needs to buy us in. We need to believe in him, and the only way to do so, he needs results. He needs to win. So he will always play his big guns, the players that he trusts that will give him results. Because if now he tries to rotate the team and he start losing games, not many people have fully trusted him. So he needs to buy our support by getting results. So the guy, he likes it or not, he's somehow under pressure. He needs to impress everyone coming in the time that he came to Sundowns. So there's no time for him to try other players or try to improve players. Right now, it's about getting result. Make sure that the team is stable. Maybe after when we say we won the league, maybe there's 2-3 games to go, already won the league. We can try to give other fringe players game time, or maybe also this Nedbank Cup, you can maybe try rotate the squad. I don't think he can rotate. I don't expect him to play his big guns on weekend. There's the chance for rotate players, but otherwise he needs.
Very quickly for time's sake, for time's sake, Mhlava, we're just gonna jump in there. Question for the comments: is Mamelodi Sundowns still a developing team? And I mean it in the sense that it was always a high pressure job, but there was always stability, knowing that those coaches have been there for a while. So there are some players where you can hold their hand. Has Sundowns fundamentally changed for the guys in the comments? Has Sundowns fundamentally changed? Is it now a place where it's pressure? His job is under pressure. He's not going to get 12 years. Is there a place now for those players that need to grow a little bit? Let me bring in Penny. Penny, welcome to the show.
Mr. OT.
How are you, Penny?
I can't complain, man. I cried and I indlulile, indlulile.
I know, we are with you in these tough times. Penny, tell me about this game. How do you feel about it?
You know, Mr. OT, there's so many aspects of the game that we need to be honest with. Number one, Mamelodi Sundowns played in a very slippery pitch, which is a very heavy pitch. I don't want to say maybe it's an excuse from the coach or what. But number two, even though it was a man-made pitch to be heavy because they did it, you know, they watered the pitch. We cannot say maybe that's a self-inflicted. Yeah, we can say if they say they played in a heavy pitch, it's a self-inflicted one. They inflicted it in themselves. It's a self-diagnose. You understand? So what is happening? They are used to play in that pitch, and then yesterday the turf was very good for them. They cannot play in the very good turf. They know with. But again, manje, we can't lala it again in Bombay. Like Mpumalanga, we are green there.
Yeah.
So, okay, Penta aside, Mr. OT, coming to your question of tactics and everything. Tescala's got it spot on. If you look at the double pivot that ETS Galaxy had yesterday, it really took away space and time for Ribeiro, a player like Ribeiro. And we need to be honest. If you look at the amount of goals Mamelodi Sundowns has scored and you look at the contribution of Ribeiro, if Ribeiro has no passing lane and he gets to the box, there's no space for him to do his magic. You will then start thinking, good, Mamelodi Sundowns is confused. But they are not confused. My only worry that I've noticed, I don't know how much game time does Suarez, the left center back in Mamelodi Sundowns, have. Was he playing where they signed him? Yeah, because yesterday he was exposed. Umahlangu no Svilibili, they exposed him. When it comes to pace, and they will go past him. So, and if you look at him, he started playing more gaming and super sports. He played against Pirates. Then yesterday, another full 90 minutes. So why I'm asking this is that if we all remember Emiliano Tade, when he was playing at Amazulu, he came from Argentina and played for Amazulu. He was a very good player. Went to Mamelodi Sundowns, where by now the workload and the demand is very high. That guy struggled with cramps up until he went back home. He quitted. That guy quitted football in South Africa because the pace in the PSL is not child's play. Then my question is, looking at his side Yaga Opremodiba yesterday, looking at his side Yaga Johannes, there was a time, if you noticed, OT, whereby the technical bench TS Galaxy was calling the goalkeeper Uira to say, play the ball in his side. Don't go to the other side. Come to this side. This is where we want the ball to be. And that's where they profited. Because if you look at the goal, came from that overload.
Yeah.
So my question is he good enough? Or else, yes, we were happy because remember, a new broom sweeps the best. This is what we saw with Ulilepo. We don't know what's going forward. Is he still going to give that? And then coming to Unhlanhla Mkaka and why must I forget this guy's name? Mpho Mvelas. Yo, what a work rate, OT. That is, when you speak about work rate, you speak about those two guys. They covered so much distance yesterday. That is why when we get to 75 to 80 minutes, the coach decided, let me refresh the team, get people who are going to go again because this guy had run their socks off.
Yeah.
Two, I hear people saying they're questioning a decision coaching on Marcel. OT, if you don't find spaces in the middle of the path, between the pockets, the only way to stretch them so that you can find this one, you need to have a wing play. Try to stretch the back four so that they can start shifting. If they shift now, you know you are trying to get. If you don't go with a cross, you can get a space in the pocket. If you don't get the pocket, you will find those free kicks, especially with the 35, 45 yards. That's where the free kicks were coming from after introducing the wing play. Because if you don't have that wing play, these guys are going to be safe. As long as you've got the ball in the 45 yards, they don't panic. They don't commit any fouls.
Yeah.
But now come from the wing play cutting in. That's where the fouls are coming in. So I feel like the coach there was very good bringing Umasego, and he almost profited because the set piece were coming. It's just that another thing that I want to say with Abasepitor, they are very sensitive. And they are spoiled, man. I don't know how to say this and not be rude. They are spoiled. One lose nyana, they cry like the coach has lost so many games.
Okay.
So they are spoiled. And another thing that I wanted to ask, do they understand the Penta Epitor? You know, they have went personal ngotito. Pero Tito manje bona sebamnyanya personal.
Yeah,
it's personal ngotito manje.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr.
For
Otis.
time, I'm gonna jump in. Let me bring in Tyler. Tyler,
OT.
how are you, my brother?
I'm good, OT. How are you?
Yeah, now I'm chilling. I told you guys, Friday I won. I don't worry about football for the rest of the weekend or the following week. Right.
So I heard someone was saying, yeah, Banyabaza, on the first I'm playing against them. Hey man, you gotta nati. Tina, we've got Tabo Tele in the middle of the park, Baba. He's keeping the balance. Yeah? You think you're gonna beat us like the way you did the last time? It's not gonna happen this time around. No, OT, I'm seeing a pattern here. How you can beat them.
Okay.
Similar, if you check the games they've lost, this is how they've lost. And this has been happening even since the time of rulani. Apply the low block, force them wide. They force them to put those balls wide because they're not used to that type of play. They don't have tall defenders. Strikers. When they're cutting in, cause a foul, you defend the foul. That's what you do against them. If you check TS Galaxy, they're applying about they had about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 players. They are not moving in the box. And there's these 2 players who they laugh. Hey, that boy. Hey, that guy. Yeah. He's not a boy. He's an old guy. That guy. His work rate, Mara. That's what disrupted Sundowns.
Yeah.
That's what disrupted Ulendo Ribeiro. Because every time he has the ball, that Velasa is there. It's either it's him or it's his partner who's playing in the middle. And that forced them to play about wide every now and then. And it kept going on and on and on like that. Go watch the game they played when OT they lost in where is this place in Africa? In the north.
Yeah, in Morocco.
In Morocco. That's exactly what they did. And these guys understand what were pacey. And they just played a high tempo game against Pirates, so they don't have the legs. So we're gonna catch them on the counter. And the minute you start making those balls up, and you're forcing Williams to come up, you must know what you're getting them. So this is how you beat them when OT.
So can I ask Tyler, is it maybe a bunch of things coming together? Because I know that TS Galaxy played an incredible game, and TS Galaxy had to be very disciplined, number one. Disciplined more than they probably are in any other game. But then also, Mamelodi Sundowns is coming from the big game from Pirates. Do those things influence each other? And does that mean that if we play Sundowns or another team plays Sundowns when they're well rested, you're not going to be able to do this? Is it just all these things coming together?
But it's not an excuse for Sundowns. Why are they buying so many players? What are they doing there? Why are they getting paid, or what is the point of buying so many players? Because when you buy them, you say they are good in each position. Why are you buying them? So the fatigue really did play its part here.
So do the other teams in the PSL have hope?
Sorry?
Do the other teams in the PSL have hope if Sundowns is not fatigued?
No, when OT, as I was saying, this is how you beat them. They struggle against a low block. Even when Mangoba was there, look at the game they play against Polokwane. Polokwane did exactly the same thing these guys are doing. And they lost that game 1-0. And they say, no, the pitch is too small. No. Look at this game and compare to that game and compare to the game in Morocco. This is how they lose games. They don't know how to play. They don't have a Tembazwan. How you play a low block when OT, you need a special player. You need a Mbule. You cannot keep Maseko there and then you loan Mbule. It can't be. Bring in Mbule, bring in Utambazwan. That's how you build a low block. Those short passes. If the other teams are struggling to mark, they're gonna cause a penalty or a free kick. That's how you build a low block.
For time though, I'm gonna jump in. I want to bring in Menpi. Menpi. Oh, Menpi. Okay. Let me do this. Yeah, all I want to say, guys, is that let's not forget how incredibly disciplined you need to be versus Sundowns. It's not just a situation of playing a low block and calling it a day. It's about keeping that low block. Now, what do you call it now? Riding had some issues. TS Galaxy at times where they were bringing too many people forward and then they found themselves in a 4, and Sundowns maybe could have taken more advantage of those type of situations, but they didn't. So I don't want us to overlook TS Galaxy's work in this game, but also don't forget, I think Ongama keeps putting in the comments that it's 12 games unbeaten for this TS Galaxy team, but then also in the last 5 games they have 3 wins, and 2 draws. Now it's 4 wins and 1 draw. So this is the TS Galaxy team that might be a cut above currently a lot of the teams that are in the league. So this is why I'm saying that let's not look past that. I don't think it's as easy as saying you go into a mid block or you go into a low block and then you go from there. So I'm going to push back a little bit on that one. But let me just get the next panel in properly, and then if we have some time later on, I'll let some people in. So let me start off with the man with the PhD. Welcome, Tammy.
Yes, Prauti, how's it?
I'm good, and you, my brother?
Hello?
Can you hear me?
I'm good.
What did you feel about this game?
You. I'm good. And yourself? Wow. What a beautiful game, to be honest, beside the fact that Sundowns has lost. But it was a good... they played very good football. I mean, Sundowns lost to a good team. I think we need to give credit where it's due. Rather than to just banter on Sundowns. I think TS Galaxy wanted it more. They were very disciplined in terms of defense for me, but I don't think they were so clinical in terms of finishing. They could have won at least with 2 or 3, and you could tell that Sundowns with the mokwena, the way he was coming, he could have scored. Even Ribeiro, he could have scored. There's a ball that he received almost in the box where he hit the crossbar. So yeah, I think they were hungry. They were selling themselves. They know that they were playing against a team that is likely to sell them. And we know about the rivalry coming from the management. We cannot hide from that. There's a serious rivalry between the two. Rivalry makes football to be very nice. Hence, you saw when they were playing against Supersport, they had nothing to play against. It was just a senior team and another team, and it's development playing together. But just the day, even if the game had went either way, but you could tell that this is beautiful football. They both played very well, and I like the fact that things that we're talking about, that when you are so over defensive playing against Sundowns, you won't be able to see their weaknesses. Look at that guy who comes from Argentina, Suarez. He was exposed yesterday. And that's how sometimes a defender should win some, he should lose some. We should be able to see you. And they press them. You look at Ronwen, you look at Grant Keka and how he was exposed. And those guys scoring the goals, had they thought we are playing against Sundowns, let's sit back, let's not attack. Because this is one thing that teams do wrong when they play against bigger teams. When they win the ball, they just clear the ball. They're not willing to play. So with TS Galaxy, it was a different story. They were willing to play. I think before they scored that goal, they had about 4 to 5 touches, and you could see that they are enjoying play even before scoring. So Cardoso came with his tactics. Unfortunately, it wasn't to be. And for the first time, we saw him failing in his tactics. He was being overpraised recently for making good tactical changes, but yesterday it wasn't to be. So they gave it their all.
Yeah. No. Go ahead.
Yeah, they gave it their all. You wouldn't say this. Yeah, you wouldn't say this was a bad Sundowns. It was just a Sundowns as the way we know it, but being exposed, playing against a team that is really, running. I always say Sundowns enjoy playing football. They enjoy playing football. I think Sundowns is one of the, if not the best playing football, or maybe when you compare them to Pirates or so, they enjoy playing football. So if you don't make them to play football, you really stresses them, and this is what they give you if you don't allow a Ribeiro. Remember, this is what I said to Pirates, and I know they listen to me. I said be careful of Ribeiro. And these guys did exactly that. They became careful of Ribeiro. That guy is deadly. Always make sure that you don't allow him to play to his stronger foot. Give him the right. Let him go to the right. He won't do anything. He will always come inside to the left. With that saying, I'm not saying he's not a special player, but you need to know which are your dangerous players. Unfortunately, these guys, they were conceding, I would say, reckless fouls. Very dangerous. You don't concede those fouls against the Mokwena. That guy, I'm telling you, he will go down memory lane as one of the greatest dead ball specialists in this country. I mean, a player who hits the ball with that accuracy, cutting in, inside the foot. They were not taking nothing away from other players that used to hit free kicks. let me tell you, Tebo is one class, because he hits it from the inside with power and with that killer. So I think TS Galaxy were more against Tebo Mokwena. And he showed his class yesterday. Unfortunately, it wasn't to be.
I just want to ask you for this last part. Low block. How should Sundowns deal with the low block? Because now it's three coaches that essentially default to the same thing and they struggle. How do you feel they should approach Tabayena mid to low block or when a team is sitting back? Because it seems to be Mamelodi Sundowns' problem. It's Achilles' heel.
I honestly don't think that the Mamelodi Sundowns, I think somehow they lost it for themselves. Those guys are the tempo of the game was very high. And to be honest, those guys have got more legs than Sundowns. Sundowns were not supposed to compete with those guys in terms of the pace of the game. They were supposed to have those slow build-up. But it seems like they were so, tactically, they were so rushing to stretch the league rather than concentrating on the game at hand. They were just supposed to have those slow build-up. Allow Mokwena to start build from the back. Grant Kakani. You don't need to be in a hasty position or to rush. Just allow the process to come. I think they were rushing for goals. If they were a bit slow in their build-up and allow a Ribeiro, just to have those nice touches. Obviously, Ribeiro is not your special number 10. He's not a number 10 Ribeiro. I always say he's a right wing who cuts with his left. But allow a Ribeiro to play. Because sometimes we say when Ribeiro holds the ball, we say he doesn't release the ball. Remember, OT, there are players that must release the ball. There are players that must take their time on the ball. They do things that are not coachable. You cannot coach Ribeiro what to do with the ball. And when you say he must release the ball, what are you saying? That's not his strength. Look at where he played that 1-2 with Mokwena. That almost hit a crossbar. Wasn't it special to unlock a low block? You need those special players to unlock those low blocks. But low blocks are not for teams that are so rushing to score. They were just supposed to be slow in their build-up. They could have got a goal or two.
For time's sake, I'm going to jump in. Thank you so much, Tammy. Let me go to Khuputso. Khuputso, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
OT.
How are you, my brother?
I'm good, how's it?
Man, 1-0. Mamelodi Sundowns lost to TS Galaxy.
That coach would really research 100% proper. And then Oka Levella o copile strategy sa Sundowns ga se dlala le Pirates.
Yeah.
So on quite drilling o lebelletse who's dangerous cause Sundowns. And then he made sure if Agra Motaung one who's gonna block Ribeiro.
Yeah.
And then from then everyone must make sure that Sundowns doesn't make passes because Sundowns is dangerous when it makes too many passes. Then you won't do anything. Someone just said Sundowns when it plays, they always enjoy soccer. So you make sure that they don't enjoy by doing what? Make sure that about the ready passes. So that's when Sundowns is nearly frustrated. After then it's done with Sundowns. And then the same thing Sundowns did ga Pirates. That's what they did. Pirates is an attacking team. I mean, I saw a ball by attack. Sundowns was making sure it blocked those attacks. And Batamana frustrated. So the guy who was blocking Ribeiro, like that guy, is dangerous. The moment Ribeiro saw a ball, Fagalot. The moment Ribeiro got a ball, it's gonna make there must be 2 players, 3 players coming to him. Then open this space, then it's gonna take out the dangerous pass. So another moment, Rivera Sarabolo, he put the leg in. It's either Rivera fall down or he take the ball. And then from then, they about defend from the back. But make sure Sundowns Komaraho, they don't hold the ball. They don't make too many passes. And then if you do that, you are done with Sundowns.
As we mentioning Ribeiro, I think he's got nine league goals or something like that. He's been the main attacking force. How Kakwala Ribeiro, Sundowns Ibitamang, because I think this might be a question for them going forward. Or if Ribeiro's not in the game, how do we get everybody else into the game? We want to join Tabayo, Sundowns, and trying to replace Ribeiro. Is there another Themba Zwane situation where if Themba Zwane perform, Sundowns they perform, you must just go home?
My Sundowns are done, Sarel. According to now, without Ribeiro, Sundowns is more like any other teams. How Ribeiro, you are done with Sundowns because Sundowns is a back line, and then from back line, by Verigisa Ribeiro to hold the ball, and then that's when other people they are making runs, and then those people in front now, like according to now, people like Abu Shalulile, this colored guy Omotelano, colored or Omotele, according to now they are nothing without Themba Zwane or Ribeiro.
Yeah.
He always gives them the symbol balls. That's what the Ribeiro does. He holds ball, Batamoyena, and then he take out the symbol, and then obviously they run fast, and then that's why it's easy for them to score. So if you block Ribeiro, you are done. And then backline, that's why Mokwena is always at the back, because he's the one controlling the back. The pass is Tagomrao.
Okay.
From then, Biden Samohara by Ribeiro. Ribeiro hold it, and then the positions Sakamuma siding, because those people they come in to help midfield to take ball from Ribeiro. That's when Ribeiro answer the ball is really dangerous. Then that's when.
For time, yeah.
Okay, sure. But if or blogger Ribeiro, the same way the boy Namo Magagating, once out a ball, who can salute. You're making sure Bolo Yata Moena or he must run with the ball. Because Ribeiro doesn't run with the ball. And then so he can open the spaces. So then is either Watava or Otia ball. That's the only way you can win Ribeiro. But also that's what he wants. The other person is gonna come and help you. When the other one comes, you take out the ball. Then it's done.
For time, I'm going to jump in. Let me bring in Karim. Karim, welcome to the show.
Tito. We are still singing, OT. But it's personal. We are still singing. We won't stop. How are you, OT?
No, I'm good, my brother. I'm good. How are you and how did you feel about the game yesterday?
I'm good, my brother. That game, for me, it was more of a mental game. I don't think it was nothing new tactically. This is how we always play against TX Galaxy. They always come with that aggression, and it's a grudge match. So for me, I think our coach got it wrong with his squad. He should have rotated his players after coming from a mentally draining game and a physically demanding game against Pirates. I think he should have balanced the players, maybe play 6 players from Saturday, 5 players, 5 new players, just to get a balance. Because he also said it on his post-match interview that the players were tired. So I'm asking myself, why didn't you rotate the players if you knew you couldn't prepare and the players were tired? You should have just rotated the players. So I have question marks to his technical team, especially with Steve Compelas. He knows the games between TX Galaxy and Sundowns, they're always demanding physically. So why didn't they advise him to say, okay, this game is a grudge match. These players are going to come with aggression. So let's freshen up the squad, bringing new players who didn't play and trying to match them physically. So I think they got it wrong. Even some of the players were just off. If you watch the game, you just see the passing was just, everything was just off. But yeah, with that game, I feel like if Ribeiro would have scored that goal, we'd be talking something different also. Because I hear people are talking as if TX Galaxy outplayed us. But if Ribeiro scores that goal, we're talking something totally different. They're chasing their game. They open up. We might even end up scoring more goals. So yeah, I don't understand when people are saying that Sundowns struggle against a low block. we've won the league beating so many teams playing low blocks. We lose one or two or three games and everyone's making noise. Come on, guys. We've been beating teams playing low blocks. How many teams have we beaten who are playing low blocks? Yes, we struggle, but we get results against those low blocks. Once in a while we get beaten, yes. But to say we struggle, but we've been winning leagues against these low blocks, guys, come on. Let's be realistic here. We're not going to win all the games.
And now I wanted to ask you, just sorry to go back to the point you made about the rotation of the squad. Is Coach Cardoso in a space where he can rotate the squad? So is it he's relatively new. Now he's playing the league games. He's obviously been with the squad. You can't say he doesn't know the squad, but is he in a place where, because I remember after that game ended, they showed Fleming back. Supersport is messy. They showed Fleming back, and it's like, hey, the clock. Is he in a place where he can rotate and trust players or even develop players? Or is it going to be a situation of one team full out?
No, he definitely can rotate his players. And development-wise, we're playing guys like Khoza. So he's already playing guys like Khoza. So meaning he trusts the young guys.
Okay.
I think he should definitely. Yeah, I think he's in a place to rotate. I don't know why he didn't rotate this. Maybe I think the plan here was to get points, maximum points, and rest the players for Saturday when we play against is in Pemeni, this Nedbank Cup. To get maximum points there, and then rest the players. Then for me, that was a blunder. He should have rested the players here, and maybe balance like I'm saying, maybe balance the players in this game, get 6-5 or 6 or 5 players, and then rest the players on Saturday. Bring in Team B to play on Saturday. So I think he I don't know what was the planning there, what was the idea. He got it definitely wrong, but I hope he learned from there. Going forward, he will rotate his players because we do have a congested fixture going ahead. And then just talking about the low block, how Sundowns play against the low block.
Very quickly, yeah.
What Rulani was doing against the low block, he used to basically in the final third, he would move the ball sideways, quick sideways, left and right, just to shift the defensive line and find those gaps. But currently, under Mangoba and who's this? Cardoso. It's quite different. We're going wide, and I feel like the game we played yesterday, he needed a player like Chandre Campbell. He needed someone who has those pinpoint crosses, because we were crossing many balls, but it wasn't going to anyone. It was just going to the opponent. But if you have a player like Chandre Campbell who can pinpoint across, you would get something. And I feel like in South Africa, players like Chandre Campbell are very underrated. I'll give an example of Dane Clayt. That guy, he played at the highest level for so many years, but in PSL we don't really rate him. You look at Chandre Campbell, he's already overseas, same age group as Abo Rile and Abo Mapena, all these guys, but he's already overseas.
Just got promoted to the first team.
Exactly, and he already scored his debut. I think he's already scored goals there. That's why in South Africa, I think we don't value such players, and I think we need such players because that game needed a type of player like him.
For time's sake, I'm going to jump in. Well, you also need a player like who's that player, man, Mendieta, because Mendieta used to be the finisher of those crosses a lot. Hey, Mendy, let's try again. How are you, my brother?
Hey, OTT, how's it, my brother?
Man, I'm good. Tell me about this game, man, Mendy.
OTT, for the first time, ke bona coach ya Sundowns Cardoso aira the wrong substitute. Like ne ke bone le motho le ngore o phela ba le di solution for any challenge a kopanang le yona. But this time around I don't know. Maybe he didn't read the game very well or what was wrong. Because for example, OTT o tsentshitse Maseko. And Maseko amuisa go sideng. So Maseko, he's only a runner. That boy,
Okay.
he doesn't have like those individual brilliant brains. The brains is abo oprimudi vako sighting. The brains is for example, Ribeiro, we can even ukamisa go sighting. He's got football brains, good decision making, and then he can dribble past the players. He can play a cross straight to a striker or maybe to someone who's free in the box. But bringing in Maseko was the worst substitute, because that boy, that boy, he will never do any individual brilliance to help a team. That guy na dlala Pirates ba re ke Segolela. Do you remember Segolela?
Gautrain.
Yes, this boy
Segolela.
is a type of Segolela. Yes, you will never get any individual brilliance from this boy. So he should have at least brought in someone like Kodisang or maybe Atrege Ribeiro to the side. And then Azensevu Mukulisi. People who are creative, people who can find a pass, people who can do something, any individual brilliance, because those people, they overloaded the middle field, OTT, and then they were playing too deep. Second half. So if ever you bring in a direct players, Reyners is a direct player. He's not a person who will have those combinations play. And also this boy Maseko, he will never ever do something like a combination play. So a team deep like this TS Galaxy, it needed people who will eliminate some of the people of the players that TS Galaxy got 1-on-1. So that maybe batla kgona go shorta di area tse ding. So you've got Maseko on the side. His decision making, even his cross, it will never go straight to someone who's in the box. It will just go, I don't know. So our coach OTT, this time around, he didn't have any response. He didn't have any solution for the challenge against TS Galaxy OTT.
So then, is this the case of the Pirates, Sundowns, the Pirates? They had a little bit of a hangover from that game, and maybe TS Galaxy took advantage, or is it something that the other teams will be looking at and saying, "Wait, King, if we can copy what TS Galaxy did there, we can win some points"? Should Sundowns be worried going forward?
Yeah, we should be worried, OTT. I think also game Pirates really influence. Players in Zarena, they can come up against a different challenge anytime. So I think they went to this game TS Galaxy knowing very well that they will dominate the game. They will do whatever that they can do. So unfortunately, TS Galaxy was ready to compete with Sundowns. They didn't outplay Sundowns. They were competing with Sundowns. And then if you can look at the way TS Galaxy was playing OTT, they were waiting for the moments. And then they were even high pressing Sundowns. But during some moments, they were not playing an open game with Sundowns, but they knew exactly when to press. And exactly, they were very quick whenever they win the ball, these people. So, is surprised in Sundowns too much. It was the speed. Our players didn't manage to regroup Kanako, and then they didn't even manage to stop TS Galaxy win the polo arena boxing very quickly. So I think this time around, TS Galaxy even the team PSL. But I'm also worried TX Galaxy. This high intensity game, you can find game OTT or one TX Galaxy a different, because using this kind of intensity for the whole 90 minutes, it can an influence mod players for the next match. So I don't know if ever they will manage to keep the same intensity game. But believe me, they used a lot of energy.
Okay, for time I'm going to jump in.
Energy, OTT. So
No, okay, finish off that sentence. Finish off that sentence and then I'll jump in.
Yeah, for example, Magesi, by the time they were they competed and then they even won that cup. But after that game, what happened? OTT, they lost. They were playing poorly. They were not good enough to compete on those other games.
Yeah.
So as for TS Galaxy, I'm waiting to see that. I'm waiting to see their next 3 games or 4 games, so that I can know very well that they were ready to play against Sundowns that day. They were not just using an energy.
No, for time's sake, I'm gonna jump in. Look, guys, this is my thing. I don't think Sundowns should be worried about this game. I don't think this is a game that should scare Sundowns too much. But I think what's scary is the pattern of the games, in that, you know, when they played versus Polokwane City, that game that they lost, I think they got their first proper shot. I think it was the 81st minute. You know, in this game, the first half ended, and I think Mamelodi Sundowns had 1 shot on target, and only 3 shots in total in the first half. And then in terms of big chances, according to the stats, I get a big chance is the chance where you have a high possibility of scoring. The quality of the chances that they're creating are not as high in some of these games. So I think that's more to worry about than what's going to happen in this game. A lot of people forget that last season, Sundowns played a lot of these type of games where it's not too much about the tactics of the game. It's more about the pressure you can apply on the team. So you can only defend for so long before something breaks. So what I think was great about what TS Galaxy did, and what I understand from what I saw, is that the Sundowns coach was right to bring on Masego and Morena. Not necessarily for Masego to have the ball, but it was for them to have some threat outside. So that back 5 that TS Galaxy was playing, you make sure that these guys on the end have to worry about something. So you could see them going out. But where I say TS Galaxy did something great in this game was when Sundowns did that, they took off an attacker and then they went, okay, fine, keep my 2 guys busy. We're going to have 4 in the middle, right? And I think it's that type of reply that we don't necessarily see in PSL games. I will always say, you can beat defensive. Defensive is not a problem. You can come into a game and you can beat defensive, but what is your plan when you win the ball? Because the last thing you want to do is to win the ball, clear it, then you're under pressure again. And that is where Abo Zajmovic come into play. Abo Sibilibili, Abo Letsualo came into play. And I think Zajmovic is one of the underrated players. There's 2 players that I've seen in the PSL that play that little role there. It's Zajmovic, it's De Jong. If we're not careful, those guys are incredible. Zajmovic is the 3rd highest goal scorer in the league right now, for example. And if you watched that attack when they overloaded that side, he is the one who said, hey, ningai pambili, somebody was offside, nikezeni bola, and then we'll figure something out. So those type of smart players are very important because you have to keep your danger. This is not a new plan that we've seen. This tactic, I remember Mulifinseki using it, where he'd have a back 4, he'd have, it was Tebe, and I'm forgetting the other midfielder. And what they do is they stay central and try to move Sundowns to the side. The only problem with that was that they didn't know what to do when they won the ball into attack. And what TS Galaxy did very well, again, was 2 things. Overload, where you can overload, especially on Robin Johann's side. But then also, when you win the ball, play it into that corridor. There's that space between Williams and the defense where they were just dropping balls into there. You have to get Williams to come out and sweep a keep a few times before there's problems, right? So if you can get him 3, 4, 5 times out of the box running at that ball, he's not going to get to all of them. And once you start doing those things, even Sundowns has to think about how they're going to play, how they're going to push people forward, who's going to add to the attack. So, for example, in the game, I'll still highlight the Chiefs game that Mulifinseki played versus Sundowns, where they went 1-1. Coach Rulani said something after that game. He said, I was scared to be caught on the counter by Dupreez or somebody. So I told Mudau to stay back. But then when I saw that they weren't coming at me, I moved Mudau forward, and Mudau scored the goal, the ultimate goal that became the 1-1. So sometimes you have to play those mind games and say, okay, I'm defending with a back 5, back 7, right, at times, and I'm attacking with 3. But as long as that 3 can keep in danger and keep, I don't think TS Galaxy now you created the best of chances. But if you can keep in danger, you start making the other coach have to think. So I want to give credit, honestly, to the to the TS Galaxy coach. That's who I want to give credit to. I think they came in with a plan and they executed the plan. I think Cardoso, these games happen, guys. Let's be honest. These games happen. You make the right tactical changes. You have the right ideas, but it's just not your day, right? What Sundowns must look out for is that it mustn't become too much of a pattern that repeats itself over and over again. And then now you find yourself in those spaces. In terms of fatigue and all of those things, this is where I asked a simple question all those weeks ago and people were having me. I asked that, do you have real depth? Is it a real depth that you can trust players? Because the situation has changed at Mamelodi Sundowns, guys. Let's be honest. The situation has changed. Coach that's coming into this game, he's no longer a coach that has had a 12-year tenure at Mamelodi Sundowns. Now it's about the results, and now it's about working. So there's a lot of players who are sitting on the bench who maybe we had patience for. We had patience for earlier on. I've always spoken about Abo Mkulise, Abo Mayema, Abo Mabue. I know they're gone. Abo Mabue, what's his name? The guy who goes Kukune. You've always had patience for them. But now the question is, can I trust those guys on the bench when I've played a game versus Pirates? When is crunch time in the league? When I need to take in all the points that I have and I can bring them on. And what you need to look out for is that Rulani went through something similar last season, where it came a point where it was crunch time and he couldn't change players. He had to keep playing. It is pretty much the same squad over and over and over again. Over and over and over again. So that's why I'm like, that's something to look out for. But to be fair, Sundowns is now a performance place. Uko Tushilo in this press conference that I'm looking for people who can come in and play. And if you come in and you prove yourself, you'll be an Adams who goes into the starting lineup directly. You'll be a Suarez who goes into the starting lineup directly. You'll be a Reynolds who at some point went into the starting lineup directly. And a lot of the other players need to pull up their socks. But guys, I'm going to end it there. I'm not going to be in tomorrow. So tomorrow I'm not going to be live at all. But then Friday I will be back. Tomorrow we are shooting an episode of Onside the Banter League there on MacG, the Podcast and Chill Network. So I'm not going to be in tomorrow, but I will be back on Friday, and of course for the matches over the weekend. Thank you so much to everybody that joined. Thank you to everybody that sent a comment. Thank you to those that joined the panels and sent the gifts. Thank you to those watching on YouTube. Your support is incredible, guys. I really hold you guys dear for giving me all of this and for this little platform, everybody coming in and supporting. It is really great, guys. Anyway, I'm going to leave you guys. Thank you so much. So Friday, 7 p.m. Bye, everyone.